registry of outward correspondence. So it's actually when you have received a correspondence from outside and view. It's not necessary that the registry staff that only are responsible to do this. A clerk, administrator will be responsible to track the records all of these elements when you receive a letter from the outside of organizations. I know you have also been experienced to all of this. And then this is actually what I have been to be registered into the system. Some of the organizations, they have computerized automations to record the registry of the incoming correspondence. Some of are still using manually by using the paper base. Closing or opening a new file, the standard, what that should be, record or file, all the inward of correspondence, internal minutes, all of the copies from received from outside, and all of the internal generated or documents, for example, financial statement. Okay? And what are the files or documents that should not be filed? Okay, you don't have to file form, copies of your own correspondence, anything that your letter that you generate, you don't have to keep for the copies. And the Primera, where is all the catalogs from the supplier, for example, equipments or supplies, furnitures, anything. That is just only for circulate matter, that once you have reached the events of that program, you can actually dispose that document. Opening new file. Okay, when to open a new file? Remember this is important. Okay, this is all of it. And parts of file. There are 3 parts of file in the record filing system. Number 1, part 1 is the number of physical unit which the file has been subdivided chronologically as it has increased its size. For example, you have one of the file volume 1, when it is reached like 2 inch of the file, it need to be open a new file for it, volume 2. You will need to ensure the thickness of the file is not going to be bulky and hard to be managed. You have to ensure that the size of that length of the file might be 2 inch. If it is more, the paper or all of the documents that you print out, it might be exposed to a hazard, or it can be breakage, because the thickness or the thickness of it can destroy or damage the file. Some of the part of the file also goes to the sub-file. It is a separate file dealing with discrete aspect of subject. For example, HR of the document file. When you have a HR1 of the file, you might be need to include another related file. For example, training file. And then another about the HR have been helping to do is operations, anything that's related to HR, performance, the employees payroll. Okay, that is sub files that is included from the major or the general unit. Continuations file is similar to what I have explained on the volume 1, volume 2. A new file open when the old file have reached its cut-off date, because there is one of the standard where you have reached like 3 months or 1 year. There is a necessity for you to create another file for that particular subject or to that particular file. So in this there are 3 parts of file that you have to remember. Part of the file, part 1, subfile, and continuations file. Okay, giving a title must be logically, let's clear out, reflect to what is the titles about. This is the filing process in can be for printed and digital. This is where you have generated all of the correspondence within, and then do for the raw record keeping system. You have to classify it using classification scheme. Some of it we're calling alphabetic storage method. Okay, and then we have the serial number for that document. For the user able to retrieve the file easily, you need to create a serial number to indicate what we call the uniqueness. Okay, we don't want to have a redundant file in the organizations because it will waste a space in the organization storage. We want to have a unique identifier to ensure all document has served its own specific unique content. Okay, and that is also helping for searching the information, because when we have a serial number, we can find it by using the serial number of that document. So you're not gonna be where we call this replaced to another files, or accidentally misfiling certain of documents. Okay, and then we also will help that for retention and disposal of record. We know which of the records that have reached its dispositions times. Okay, this is the life cycle or the last life cycles of the records. Or if that record cannot be disposed, it will be transferred to the less active storage. For example, archive or record center. Because you don't want to keep your storage too bulky, you will be slowing down your work or making a decision, because it takes too long for you if you have a lots of document, even in the computer, isn't it? If there's a lot of memory use, it will be slowing down your download time and researching the information. They will be taking a little bit much time for system to find the informations. And ongoing records function, so this will be called reporting, because when you have all of the documents in the filing, some of the, for example, the employees data, isn't it? Employees data on a medical claim. Okay, on the medical claim. So your boss want to know how much is the per month that the organization have spent for medical claims only. So by you through the using of the system or the filing, you're able to prepare a report for annually. So it will be easy for the organization to keep track of their performance if you have the reports. Metadata is a data about data. For example, like an employees, the metadata of employees is name, gender. It will be helping the officer to know the singular of the informations in the details. It will be helping for the organization to carry out of their tasks. Storing of the records for audit trails. Yeah, because when you do a filing, of course, we need to see the evidence of what all the transactions happen in the organizations. By having the metadata, data about data, and then the retentions of your files, the classifications of your files in the following order, so it will be follow of the audit, or that not what need to be what we call presented to the auditor. Yeah, we want to achieve on the accreditations of the ISO 9000, is it? So for the management systems for audit, we need to have all the documentations prepared. So once you have prepared this from earlier time, when you generate all the transactions here I means on the process generating internal record, letter, correspondence, memo, and minutes, then it's easy for us to show what have we done to the auditor. Protecting vital record. You know which part of the types of the documents are vital. And then there are 4 types of record value. We have vital, important, useful, and another one is not useful, okay, not important. So you know which of the documents value that need to be kept for long storage, or it will be sent to the archive, that you are not allowed to destroy these types of vital records. Vital means it will be playing the heart of the organization to do their work. And yes, for audit trail, like I have mentioned just now. So this is actually how is it the overview working on the filing process digitally or printed based in any of the organizations. Okay, I'm not going to go through these supplies because it's not really like important. Numbering, folio. So this is some of the examples. In the folio number, they're referring to the documents locations. Like this is the copies of outward correspondence in red. Okay, folio number. Folio document and the copy enclosure must be placed on the file in the date of receipt, which will be kept also the reason on top, and each number of paper in the file consecutively 1 to 100, for example, from the top right hand corner of the number being enclosed in a small circle. This one, yeah, in the top corner. And then second, when we have seen this in the red, this is an outward, yeah, this is outward correspondence. We receive from outside party to your organization. This is folio. When you have reach of your folio number, you will renumber the file based on consecutive numbering 1 to 100, for example, and 1 will be referring to the folio number when you can go through what is it the letters about. Okay, so in red here it will be indicate that this is the company or the organization received from outside party to your organization or to your unit. And then number 3 here is the internal memo where you have generated and you have to disseminate or share to the other staff in the different unit, different department or different organizations. So it's in the black pen here. Preda, Hana, Sabine still try to log in by using her personal email. Okay, and then so this is what we call the serial number, the letters code or the letters reference that we have into this folio number. Okay, and then this is just another part of an example. The folio number folder that we have is actually look like this, yeah. And then all of the files that we included in here will be talking about all of the correspondence received internally and outbound, yeah, or from outward file. You go through these, we just make some of what we call an examples, just a reference for you to reflect back what you have learned in what you actually have been working in your organizations, because this will be similar to what you have in your organization. If you were working in in the government sector, but in the private sector, might be some of the organization might use all of this filing processing when you're using folio number, some are not. So this is the standard, standard of the using a folio number. May I know who actually used your personal email? Log into my Google Meet. Do you have any problem? Why is it you have a problem with that? Join my file using your own personals. Preda, can you log in through your UITM email? Thank you. Leave, sign out, then rejoin back. Okay, minute sheet. This is minute when we will be included on the simplified file. It is actually a standard method on the maintaining registered paper. It's not just for preparing a minute of meeting or when you want to send information internally in organizations. The minute is also being record all of the incoming or outward letter that need to be included in the paper-based. Yeah, this is the manual way. Yeah, because this is using. Just imagine that this is a piece of paper, and then they will be including all of this letter. Where is it actually come from, and where you can go through that file. Okay, this is will be included, into the minute of sheet inside the folio number or folio file. And this one is what been attached. This will help to attach. This is the format. This is the example. This is the minute sheet I just talked just now. There will be folio number here, and then the title of that correspondence, and then on the different piece or paper, there will be the original letter to it. There will be attached to it. This is the correspondence. The number that been referred or that been stated to the documents. For example, number 1 here, so it will be included the title number 1 from the minutes. And so the user, when they look at the minute, when you look for the folio, so they goes to the folio number 2, document number 2 to refer to the documents. This is closing file. Okay, not so big file. Please read through this. I'm not going to be explain to this to you. It's very general. Okay, reasonable limit for a treasury tag file. Treasury tag file means any file that using treasury tags to enclose the file. This is the treasury tag. Any file that use this to close or enclose the cover of that file, this thing by using this, it must be reasonably, when it reach size of 1 inch, then you have to close it, okay, 1 inch, like this. It might be 1 inch. This is the size of 1 inch, generally, okay, examples. Close, of course, you need to put the word close on the cover file. Okay, indicate a new volume that has been opened. What are the function of registry? There are 2 types of registry, decentralized and centralized. For centralized, for all of the unit will be only have one registry, HR, operations, finance. All of these units will be managed by one registry. This is what happened in UITM. They does have one of the admin unit that manage the correspondence from outside, and any of the internal memo or letter that need to be designed to the office rector, to the HEA or HEP, and need to be go through by the admin if it is involved about the admin's informations or related matter. And decentralized, there will be control of the recording systems, and then all of the records of the staff are working in the organizations, and then they have their own spaces and they have their own advanced equipment and supplies to help them to manage all of the correspondence outward and inward. Okay, and what are the advantages to have this? It will be helping for the security enhanced, because only one of the unit control all the information flow in the organizations. It increased the efficiencies of information flow. We go through from the standard. Only one of the unit have the standard to be followed. You don't have to follow, not be confused. And then they have an intellectual control over the records, because they are the only of the unit controlling all of the policy, the mail operation, messenger services, uniform classification scheme, where we will learn in the chapter 3, the procedural practice, file operation, scheduling of retention and transfer of record. Then there is a control over the record creations accordance to the file design. So make sure that the record will not be duplicated. For example, on the filing from the HR, they will be asked for the registry to prepare, for example, the employees record. So there will be one standardized of filing procedure that we include in organizations. Okay, we have a solid procedure policy if we have one of the body or one of the unit that actively updated and prepared the standard for the records procedures in the organizations. And then you don't have to listen to, you don't have to follow for various other people that we are doing for the record filing. So they will be creating the standard and the uniformity of the filing procedure. Another advantage, saving in terms of manpower, because these people not gonna do other things. They will be highly involved in the records filings only. And then training, they will be of course exposed to a lot of training in record filing and record keeping, and they will also understand the necessity of to add up a new sub file or another part of file that based on the general topic of that record. For example, for you have your management unit in training, like in finance. Might be there is new of the content in finance unit that have evolved new procedures. For example, taxations. For example, they need to include the taxations and non-tax for all of the equipments that we being buy from the organizations. They need to have a file on the taxations, but this is quite a very special topic for the under the finance management. So this of the registry will able to detect and track the necessity to include the sub file for all of the generated from the root topic, for example, financials. So this will be make it the process smoothly, and then we also have the confidentiality of the information records from the one unit, because of course they're gonna have a very advanced equipment, security and storage for all of the vital records that is necessary, because they are the only one. It might be a big company that they will have the power and the cost, yeah, the budget to do, and then we're gonna get some of the shelf that is securely, the way we call it, keep it safe, yeah, securely safe before the other people unauthorized access to that file. And then information hogging is it this one. For the information hogging, keeping one-to-one serve. For example, like this might be happen to your organizations. Just an examples. Some of the information is only keeps by the HR. For example, just example, terminations. All of the informations, like in the minutes or anything that happened, there's a new or termination that happened in the annual leave, for example. Though, if you have a centralized, these informations need to be given to the registry. So the registry might be need to disseminate the information to all of the other people. So they cannot keep it to themselves. And also for other operations, so any of the operations, for example, the innovations that happen into the operations or the research and development, they're not going to be keep it to only to themselves. They will have to share it to the organization, so people know what happened in the organizations, because the registry will be disseminate the information to all of the other people necessary. Might be by using memo, internal memo, or email. That is by using letter, printed paper, or email. Usually you receive an memo from the email, isn't it? So they were going to be send it to all of the employees. So there is a hard for a unit to keep it to themselves. It will be need to be transparent whatever happen in the organizations. So this is the advantage of centralized registry. They know what has happened to all of the units have in the organizations. Decentralized. So this is decentralized. So this is usually allocated to each of the branch, yeah. And then this is will be helping for the branch to make fast decisions, because they need to have their own record filing to refer to the reference, yeah, to do to refer for all of the what we call a future, what they need to do for the organizations or for the branch to do. And then they also have the custody of the file to themselves compared to other different branch. For example, like Kota Samarahan, they have like this JPN in Kota Samarahan, and then Kuching. Some of the internal, or what we call internal matter, it can be so fast if we have the internal registry if you're on. So it will be easy for you to refer to the files and to make your future intakes of your decisions making for your own branch. And then they also have their own classification scheme. For example, if a Kuching is the HQ, and then there will be lots of employees is much bigger than Kota Samarahan. Employees might be smaller, and the units might be smaller as well. So their classification or the filing procedure will be slightly different than what we have in branch, in the headquarters. So this will be helping us to make our own smoothness and our own necessary. We do for our filing based on the necessary needs in the organizations. This is the advantage, like I said. And then some of these, for me, saving in labor and expensive, because slightly the units that included registry in their own branch might be smaller compared to the centralized, because centralized they have to manage all of the units. But for this part, all we're gonna have this smaller units, or in their own unit they have one registry. You don't need to have a very expensive equipment or suppliers to accommodate the files that you have, the records. And then some of the people that be working in there might be the clerk itself, the admin itself. So they have to do even not only by doing for internal records, they have to do all of the simple what we call incoming, managing the correspondence, the inward correspondence. For example, stamping, giving a date, ensure the enclosure, the salutations, all of it. So you might have experience of doing this now in your organizations. You're doing that, yeah, in your own unit or in your own department. Then you might have go to a general types of training for record filing or audit, how to do some of the proper documentations. So this is the same people that doing that, the executive itself, the people itself that within in the unit. And then this one, when you have your own registry, of course you're gonna have a very fast information to retrieve, because it's within your branch or within your department itself. So you don't have to go through to the, for example, to a different unit or different building or to the different department to get the information you needed, except that it's not about your unit, your own unit. Because in HR, they have their own registry, for example. But you are the one that managing itself. It's not the other people, not the specialized people that are doing for this record filing procedure. Because you are the one that doing some of the other main tasks, and this is going to be your subtask for the department. Okay, classifications. Okay, classification in chapter 3. Correspondence filing method. So this is equipment, vertical, lateral, shelf, mobile. Just go through this, okay? This is vertical file cabinets. Lateral, it serves its own purpose. It will depends on the type of document that you the types of folder. The types of folder you have. So some of the file in there might be the different types of folder that need to be included in this type of file. It's not every documents or file that can be stored with using lateral, a vertical file cabinet. Some of it is using the lateral file cabinet. This is usually a file that does have the edge on this on the side, and then this is the content. It's been laterally filed. And then shelf, it's not also same with other things that you have seen in the folder here. This one file cannot be included in the open shelf. It might have its own standard of folder. For example, a file of bulk, hardcover files for it to include in the open shelf. And then it depends on the record value. If it is a vital, it cannot be included in the open shelf. It must be in the enclosed file. Because of the confidentiality and the security, it must be in a closed file. Okay, in the mobile shelf like this, it is a security, and it's pretty much expensive compared to the what we have here. Some of it, the rotary files, have bank of shelves that can be recorded and stored in shelves from the board side. Some of this is very sophisticated. Yeah, it might be expensive. Might be it's not. We have seen this is very common in the organizations. Might be this in your organization also have, but might be this is not. Maybe there yes, if you are working in the advanced or what we call expanded organizations, profit-based organizations, very big, that dealing with lots of data, that will be included in the rotary shelf. This is very sophisticated. Okay, if you are working in the archive center, if you are in the dealing with a lot of documents and records filing and documentations, you might be having all of these types of mobile shelving. This is be helping and to keep the security and the confidentiality files. It will be also keep the need to have the standard of this for filing. It will be involved. It depends on the documents and folder that you have. And some of other types of filing, they also have the specialized for the special needs people. They also have to accommodate some of the employees that need to have that sort of equipment to help them to do their works. But it also depends on the company's concepts. Yeah, it means that how is it they actually hired all of these special needs people. If they are actually open, if it is organizations that welcoming for the special needs people, so the equipment so also serve the purpose for the special needs, so that it will be tally to what the objective to help on the special needs people for working in the organizations. But yeah, in Malaysia it's not actually because it involved with money and cents, so it's gonna be, they have to take to the point to think on their operations monetarily, and then how it can be reflect to their organization's reputation and so. Okay, and file capacity requirements. So this actually we're talking about how is it you manage your file, your filing space. Yeah, your filing space and the environment of storing all of these files. And then this is just an overview. Not all of the organizations might be doing the same things. Some of it because they are short with cost, yeah, budget. They don't have so much budget, so they cannot actually really follow to the standard that been designed, that been laid out to the organization to follow. So if you have a follow, so all of the filing is need to be have the spaces here. But I seen like few of the company doesn't have that a good practice in filing. Maybe some of the company also didn't have a filing, didn't preparing for any filing of the company's records. They just keep their records on their table, some of it on the floor. That is inappropriately. But for a organized, yeah, if you want to be accredited with your management, you have to follow all of this. They will be helping the employees to do their work. Okay, so this is the inches that should be spacing into your shelf. You must have the spaces on each of the row when you have that in the file. This is your shelf, for example. This is the file. You need to have at least a spaces between these for easy to make sure that the file is not broke and not damaged. Sorry, not damaged, and that easy for you to track the information. It's not in the fitted. You cannot like really make it fitted. You know, it is not inappropriate. It's not appropriate to do that. And then you must have to save file as well the floor space, because there are no drawer to open. You have to ensure that the effectiveness when you are working in organizations, when you have your shelf files, is actually easy for you to take the files without to open the drawer. But if you have a files a shelf that has a drawer, you have to open the drawer. It takes time also. But it depends on the value, types of record value I have mentioned. If the vital, it might be closed. But if it is not, it might be considering an open shelf, because it's going to help the filers to locate or take the files without taking too much time to open the drawer. And then next, Okay, open shelf filing is only confidential or vital, must be placed in the record and vault. So this one, open shelf filing, for you, this is not for confidentials, yeah. This one it means that confidentials or vital must be recorded in a record vault or security. So the open shelf is just for the common file or public file. And then considering of the fire protections, or even though on the ceiling you have to look through if there's a, or it's the breakage of the aircon, you know, sometimes I see there's a, on the ceiling there's a water drip from the ceilings, and then it keep, and then it hit the filing, it will be break the file as well. And the fire protection, it must need to have some of the alarm system, so that it will be avoid any of the file to be break or to be damaged by the fire. Some of it will be happen. Some if it is the record is vital and important, you have to keep it in the vault for the security purpose. So it's going to be safe, and then it will not be exposed to the fire damage and water damage. So that is also need to be considered. Okay, this is the supplies. I just go through the guides. You can read through this. Okay, this is the index guides. Some of what I call it. The guides is when you have a filing, we refer this as our primary guides. Yeah, and then in this one, that will be helping for the flyer know what is the topic about. And then this is another guide in alphabetic guide. So when you have B here, it's referring to all of the documents that starting with B. Special guide in the blue here is indicate an out guide. Out guide means that the file has been borrowed by other people, or have been borrowed by a filer, or been taken out. So it will be include. Oh, this is have some of. It's missing here. The record is not here right now. It must be somewhere. So you have a guide that will help you to know or to trace where is it the files now. So you have to prepare sort of management when you are doing for your filing. Then you prepare it in this manner. You look at, so people have a safe time because they have seen a guide. So when we have an application, everything that is about application in the front, like application outlet, the applications accounting, applications office support. So you have easy time to guide your eye when you open the drawer and you know what is the files about. And if it is in the blue one, just example, if it is a blue, so this one will be referring, oh, this file is not in here. So that is the helping you. It will be also helping the user to get or retrieve the information faster. So this is another part that will be very, very common. Okay. So this is the type of the drawer file guides that will be referring. Like this is an alphabet. This is one of it. Like in the Manila card, if I'm not mistaken, there are some of that the people are using paper base or a plastic base. It depends on the company. The way they do for the guides in their drawer side, they have to prepare in this manner. And then it's easy. It's a little slit out, a little bit out compared to the files. So it's easy for our eye to track what is it file about. Folder, the types of folder, like I said here. This is the first guide, and this is for the second guide for the second content, and this is the third guide for the third content. And also there's another file that is also have 1/5 cut, 1/3 cut, and another one is the straight cut. But usually we are very common to use 1/3 cut. For file drawer that you need to open, for example, file drawer that we have vertical shelf or lateral shelf that need to be opened. So this is example of the folder that being used. And for OpenShell, because it's on slightly bent file that is 10, you have this one position, second position, 1/5 cut, and full cut. Because people will look at through the side, it's not through the top of the file. It will look through the side of the file. Because you look it from the side of the file, it's not from the eyes from the bottoms. Yeah, your eyes is on the bottom of that file, and this is the eye will be looked through from the side of the file. Type of file. Okay, types of this included in the organization that being used. This one is the block of what are also known as a compressor, the blocks of the file, to ensure that the file will not be slightly fall inside, fall deeper into the drawer. We have this sort of blocker or compressor. Out indicator to help the user or the filer to know where is the files comes out. So there are 3 common use indicator here. Some of the organization only use an out guide, some of it are using both, and might be some of the organization only use out sheet. So out guide is a sort of like this. It's not really much information, so it just mentions that in here is the borrower details, the date, when it's been borrowed, when it's going to be returned, which we need that is borrowed by this file. Okay, that is out guides. Okay, out folder, it must have this sort of we need to have a part. Yeah, this is a folder that does have the copy of that file, or no, sorry, the copy of the receipt or the filers that have used that particular file. It will include all the information of people that have been used that, and then it been updated from time to time by the record manager. Some of it might be include some of the copy of the document that included in the out folder. And out sheet, this is just like piece of paper, and it will be included similar to this. This is out sheet. It will be also included some of the details of the borrower and where is it the documents are located right now. And that is out sheet. Yeah, the same size and color as out guide. It's just the same one. Label, container guide for the label. Okay, sorter. This is the cost, advantage of alphabetic records. Color coding. We also have a few types of coding in physical record filing. Okay, in the record storage system, some of are using color, and I have seen some of the organization use picture, isn't it? They use the pictures like it's long of the file. It does have showing a reflect, for example, a nature. So nature picture. So this one in our roughly eye, when we see something of missing here, we can see that there is missing files in there. Some of you are using some of the colors to indicate, but it depends on the organizations, like I have said. Yeah, so that it's easy for you. Why are they doing this? The system, why they doing this? The system, because they don't want to have disorganizations. They don't want to have a disorganized of their file. If you follow through the correct puzzle or the correct pictures of that be included for the filing, so you have sort of a very organized filing. Some of it maybe people are using alphabetic order. Okay, so in here we have this sort of like color. But the color, so it will be first by using a red, and then you just indicate to the filer. Once you have to do it for all the red, you have to include for the yellow filing, and then you use green colors and the blue for might be less important. Red, maybe this indicate the most importance. It follow through urgency, maybe urgency or importance of the filing. So this one is need to be through standard. Yeah, it goes to the standard of doing the storage procedure. Yeah, the storage systems. So this in the white, it might be general correspondence. It will be included in front of this. Color coding, identifying color coding, but this is just a standard. Yeah, color coding is using a color, so identifying it in a filing system. For example, different color, but used to divide alphabetic sections. For example, if the words is A, they will be using red color. For B, might be using blue file or blue code. Or for all the topic that start with the word C, that will be referring to a green, for example, or depends, might be just using the. That is to help a filer to easily arrange the filing according to the needs of the storage procedure. Okay, storage procedures. So the first things you have to inspect of the documents. The index, inspect the check release means that if the file is documents is actually does have goes to the next procedure, does the file need to be keep in view, or does is the file ready for records purpose? So that is to inspections. For index, you have to go through the master index. So there it will be some of the organization that they prepare for a file that about training, for example, a training file. You should be file it according to blue or to this code, for example T1001. So that is the index. So when you have to make sure to go to the file for the training, go to the sections and open based on the serial number or the coding itself. And then code with the use like mark filing unit. Which is it? Is it start from T? Is there any color coding for that? Okay, green. Let's go for the green. So you have to do for the green of the filing. Cross-referencing. For example, if the name of the organization, for example, like Tunas Mekar. That's one of the organization, Tunas Mekar. So you have to do cross-referencing on this filing. Some of might be people might refer through the Tunas Mekar. Some of it will be referring is Mekar or Mekar Tunas. Also, is there any other words to this reflect to these organizations? For example, Masmed. Masmed is also known as Tunas Mekar. So you have to do cross-referencing for this type of file, because some of people or employees might referring this file based on Masmed. So you have to do cross-reference Masmed. Masmed also can be referred to Mekar Tunas and Tunas Mekar. So yes, actually there are alternative name for it. That is what very common in generally saying. There's another alternative info on that. Sort, store, and retrieve. That is very common on doing filing procedure. Okay, inspecting. So what is this miss? 3, 2, 1. This is when we do for classification. When you learn this for chapter 3. Oh my God, it's already 9:54. We're going through that. I'm going to give you a inspection. So this when we investment here, because this is the name of business name, investment here is the key unit. Key unit is the priority, and then there will be the second unit of classifications. And then this one, we are referring to third unit, the least important. When you as a filer, as a human being as well, this the keyword, you will be referring to the file. Oh, the keyword is investment. So what is the second keyword that you should remember? Strategies. So goes to investment strategies. For incorporations, of course, there's a lot of incorporation. It's the name of the organization. So not only investment that does have the word incorporations, but there are another company that include their incorporation in the title of their business. JJ is the one that I've been referring to the people. Might be annotations that checking this, inspecting this, or preparing this. And then you see, this is another one that have been cross-referencing. Investment strategy have a relations with Trotter Poll Company. So you have to do cross-referencing because these two organizations have done one transactions or interchange communication here. And this is the date retrieve. So this one to indicate the mark of this, what is the filer should be filing. Under Trotter Poll Company file, we'll have about investment file, investment strategy. And in investment strategy file, also have about Trotter Poll Company issues or correspondence. So these two are interrelatedly related on certain cases. So what is it the custom? Thank you for interest in offering investment advice. We are happy to ask you work. Okay, there is a new work. They want to involve with the new program for investment. So they will be helping us to gather information about your customer. So Trotter Poll Company will send each of your customer question A. So these two companies have working together, incorporating for investment program. So they will be in the future working closely, okay, because there is a new project. So they have to, the file under investment strategy will does have about Trotter, and Trotter Company also have about investment strategy incorporation. So that is what we call cross-referencing as well. And indexing. So indexing is the chapter 3, coding, necessary, cross-reference sheet, usually included with the C, sorting, tickler file. What is tickler file? This is one that helping you to locate your file in the drawer. Okay, it's a date sequence. Tickler file is a date sequence which matter pending are flagged for attentions on the proper date, or might be in the colors. Chronology and arrangement information. Tickles means remind the memory, serve as a reminder that specific action must be taken to a specific date. For example, if you want to do for inspections for April, so that will be slightly indicate, or might be a color yellow or red, then will be need to be remind to the responsible persons what have been need to be taking into action for April inspection. So that is will also referring to tickler file. And then means file records. So this is for cross-referencing. And filing segment. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm too fast, but I just give an overview of what is it you have supposed to learn on chapter 3. But for me, it's important. This is quite important because this one will be for assignment 2. Yeah, assignment 2, simulation, classification scheme. This part I have asked you to in I discuss. I hope you have submit your discussion. So we're gonna through alphabetic indexing rule number 1 first. Okay, coding. Okay, in the coding we are referring to classifications here. Classification scheme. Coding procedure, we have to place diagonal between the parts of filing segment, underline the key unit. So usually when you have a key unit, you will underline the names. That is the first, usually in the business name, is the first important part in that documents, key unit. And then number each succeeding, where it comes the second important, third importance, and least important as second, third, and fourth, which you have mentally and defined in the indexing process. When selecting a filing segment, choose the name most likely to be used. For example, the people that referring your name. If Malay name, like Nur Fazlina Haris, people will be always referring to me as Nur Fazlina. So you will be choose the name mostly being key or mostly being referred. And each part of the name is labeled with the unit. Remember, unit key unit, unit 2, unit 3, or unit 4. It depends on the length of the filing segment. For business name, for example, Half and Big Sons Constructions. So again, the entire name is in the filing, is the filing segment. So you will file this into the file, into the filing procedure, all of this letter in the title. So half will be the key unit because it's the first word in the business name. So you will underline that. And then there will be second and sons, third, and construction number 4. Because in the business name, we didn't change anything of the what we call the filing segment. But for personal name, remember, this is business name, okay? For all of the business types of filing segment or organization filing segment. For personal name, especially Westerner, for West people, they will refer like Half as the surname. It's the most priority as the people are referring to their surname, their family name. So they will be key in as the key unit, Half. And then Laura is the first name here. First name. So you will filing it according to second unit. Number second. And J is the third name. Or not third name, sorry, middle name. Middle name in a Westerner. So it is least important. So it will be classified as the third unit here. Assign a file designation. When you want to filing, if you have Western people into your record management, like personal name here, you will sorting it according to S, not according to J, because J is first name. This is T is middle name. And Sheng is the surname or last name. So the last name here, you will filing according to alphabet S. So that's why you will this turn to be a key unit. Key unit. Then this one gonna be second, and then this one gonna be third. Miss, why is it look like this? Why? Because underlines referring to key unit. This is second, this is third. You can, if you in the letter, corresponding letter, you will annotate on based on the bottom inside the name here. Business name, Longshank Eatery. So when you have seen, when you have underline, means that is key unit, and this one second unit. Okay, let's do an exercise for you. I try to explain rules, the general rules from 1 to 5. Okay, maybe you can have your own slide, making your own notes. Take out a piece of paper for you to remember. Okay, take a look on this. DN rule, DNM rule, and DANNE rule. Here, when we do for the simulation task, I'm gonna give you a table like this, and I have a table like this, but there is no of the details. You're gonna fill in the blank there. Okay. So the key unit role is when you have uncommon name or confused name, always refer this as surname. Okay, so this is the key unit. DN will be the middle name, sorry, the first name, and then will be included in the second unit. Goes to DNM role. So this is first name, middle, and then surname, also same role, DM, M. Miss, what is it underline M here? M here, look at this DANNE, there is another NNE, and role. Okay, when we have all the sorting name according to in the alphabetic sorting, role, you have to arrange it according to alphabetic sort. For example, like A, B, C, D until Z. So when we have this sort of same name, role, of course you're going to sort it according to this way, according to R, isn't it? You sort it according to R. So you will immediately know you have to sort it based on this arrangement, this order. But when you have a counter new words here, M, so there is no M here. So role DN will show more emphasis compared to DNM role because there is a new additions of M. And role DAN, we have another N here, indicate that N comes before, it comes after E. It comes after E. So DIANNE. So you have to be in the third order here. Because when you do for your filing segment, you have to arrange it in the alphabetic manner. Rearrange this into alphabetic manner. Because I'm not going to do it like in order like this. I might be change DN to the first one here, DN rule. DNM role will be on the number 3 here. Number 3, and you have to arrange it according to the alphabetic order. So M here is make sure that it's been alphabetic sort by M. So E, I believe M come after E. So you need to know, really understand and remember to recite your ABC. You need to remember and recite of your ABC arrangements. And that's one. Indexing minor words. Okay, these are rules till prefix. Indexing order of units. Surname is the key unit, given name, first name is the second unit, middle name is the third unit. Any punctuations need to be removed and nothing's before something. And this one is mentions that we have the letters that N, S will be sort as the after the N. So it's actually arrangements of alphabetic. Remember the underscore letter is the example shown in the correct order. So it means that to indicate the correct order of it. Let me show another example for Malaysia name. For Malaysia name, you do not, please do not change it. Dalaila Samad, when you do for the filing segment, it will be the same. Dalaila Samad. Still, the key unit is Dalaila. And then Samad is the second. And sorry, A is the second. Samad is the third here. Rosita Chewan, still. This will be key unit. This is the second unit. And this is the third unit, still same. Tan Li Peng. Okay, key unit is still Tan, Li is the second, and Peng is the third unit. For Malaysia, Malaysia name means Chinese, Indian, Malay. This is example. Okay, Charlene Arnold, this is the key unit because this is the surname and this is the first name. So key unit Arnold, Charlene, still same. So Arnold, we have the same Arnold here, repetitive name Arnold. So C comes before D, so you underline D. This is the correct order of D because the word D comes after C. Then we sort by Dalaila Samad. Dalaila is the key unit. D, A, Samad. D comes before R. Because of this is have been arranged in alphabetically, so it's easy for you to look at it. Yeah, it's in alphabetic order. A to Z. Simone, Paula. Neil, S. Simone. Simone, S-I-M-O-N, P-A-U-L-A, S-I-M-O-N. So in the second, S-I, still same word, M, still same, O, N. Here's a new one, E here, Simone. Okay, E need to be this the sixth word, the number L letter number 6, letter E. Compared to Simon, only have 5 letters, but Simone we have 6 letters, so it will be sort as the second alphabetic here. Neil, S. Sunderland, Sunderland. Okay, so there's 2 names here, so you will to which how you will be coding. Code it by S. Still, because still sorting after S. S-U-N-D-E-L, Len Robert. Still, we have the second, but there is new word here. The letter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Letter number 7. It's slightly longer than Sunderland Robert. There is no A. So this is much important or much significant compared to this new word that appear at row beta here. So you sort it according to underline A. And Taylor, T-A-Y. So every of these 4 words has the key unit, the same key unit. But you look at the second unit, Andrew. So R and Y, what comes first? R comes first compared to Y. So it will be slightly downward because A and D R comes before Y. So it will be sort first. Even though it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letter, but the word inside Andrew, R comes before Y. A-N-D-Y. And then when you have that Taylor again, Taylor, A-N-N-E and A-R-M-A-N-D. So N and D, what comes before this? D come before N. So that is how you sort. I want you to understand. Anyone, do you have any question for this? Need to look through all the each alphabet, yeah, each of the letter when you want to sort this. Because when I give you letter, I not giving in order. I will mix this around. Okay? Then I comes before M, isn't it? S-A-I-N, Zain, Zaidin. Z-A-M-A-R-U-L. Is it I comes before M or M comes before I? You recite your own alphabetic, yeah? So far, it's okay for personal name? 15 minutes left. Hello? Please comment. Oh, it's very. So if I can proceed. Okay. Every must be T second. Every first letter must be second unit. Every first letter must be second unit. Yes, every of the second letter, correct. But that is for personal name, not necessary. You have to look through, yeah. If the name does have 4, that will be the, for example, there are 4 names, so then we will need to take a look. Except for Malay name. For Malay name, Delilah will be the first, and then the Haris, for example, the Fazina Haris, so Haris will be the second unit. So far so good. Okay. English, for English name is only need to be interchange for your surname, first name, and middle name. For first name will be second unit, middle name will be third unit, the last name will be key unit. Remember that. Now this is the business name. So business name, you have to cite it as it is. It's very easy. You don't have to change it. So like Kedai Cenderahati, Kedai Cendol Sedap. We can look at the K here. It is same white. But look at the Cenderahati E and then C-E-N-D-O. E comes before O. So you will sort this before the Kedai Cendol Sedap, or this word lah, this letter. It's still the same to sort this. I'm gonna pass that. Symbol. So 4 minor word and business name symbol in the business name. Remember, only the THE here will be immediately considered as the last indexing unit. Okay, like the 100 store. 100 store will be the first unit. The word will be key unit. This is the article, preposition, symbol. For all of these symbol like EN, E, dollar sign, and what is this? Percent need to be spelled out. This is cents sebenarnya, cents. Punctuation. All punctuation is removed when indexing personal name. For example, O, apostrophe nel. When you want to do for classification, O N E A L, onel. Remove the apostrophe. Or even the dash exclamation. This is exclamations. The question mark, the diagonal, anything is need to be removed. Like this. Yeah, you can see here the name of Stacy or Stanley. Umrah Hajj traveler, you. Umrah without the dash, travels. Visit to Melaka without exclamations point. There is no here. There is no also question mark. Remove. Single letter and abbreviations. Initial, personal name considered separate unit, separate initials. For example, initials A. Okay, James, A. William. So separate this A. Consider initials in the third unit. Second unit. This is first unit, second unit, third unit, and this is key unit. Abbreviation of personal name like WM Justos and nickname are indexed as they're written. So if you have received like Jack Bill, for example, so you will be assume Bill as the key unit, and then Bill Jack will be the first unit, for example. Indexing here, you can look at the business name. In this, look at the spaces. There is a space here. So when there is a space, so this will be considered as separate unit. You have to look through on that. But if there is apostrophe like this, for example, A, not apostrophe, period, C, period, T, this is considered one unit, key unit, then realty. Difference, difference compared to period and spaces. What else? Remove this same like period and dash. K9. Make M, there is space here, spacing, spacing. And this is another one. No, so you look at the comma, there's not included. Title. A title before a name, for example, Miss, a seniority suffix like second and third, okay, or professional suffix like MD or PhD after a name is the last indexing unit, is being put as the last indexing unit, same like the word here. Only numeric, only on royalty and religious word title like ustads or father is being filing as it is. Will be include like ustads, Firdaus. So ustads will be the key unit, Firdaus will be second unit. Numeric suffix like we have in the seniority are filed before alphabetic suffix when you have junior, mayor, senator. That is at the last part, at the last indexing unit. If a name contains a title and suffix like Miss Lucy Wheeler, DVM, the title Miss is the last unit. Like this one, Wheeler is the key unit. Wheeler is the key unit. Lucy is the second unit. DVM is the third unit. And Miss will be fourth unit. Okay? Because Miss title is not so much important compared to the professional title here. Okay, business name, suffix, everything. Okay, I'm gonna give you an exercise in the I discuss here. I wanted you to submit by tonight. Can you? Write this everything inside this informations given. So this is the example of it. You have to write this. I'm gonna give you a PDF. Yeah, and then for example, okay, let's try Janet Crawford. Is this personal name or business name? What is this? Is it personal name or business name? Okay, good. Personal. So personal, you have to know Crawford, then Janet. Okay, I want you to do all of these two. After that, arrange this into according alphabetic order. Alphabetic order. For example, this is which one is number 1? For example, here. Number 2, here. So you have to correct this after you do the classifications unit. And not only this, I'm gonna give an extra work for you, a lot of exercise for this part. So you have to go to the next class, isn't it? So I will give you the records of today's lessons. You have any questions so far?